Meanwhile, today, lawmakers, knowing that our government funding runs out at midnight on September 30th, are debating our spending. Who gets what, how much, and how much more, if any, should the U.S. give to Ukraine? And what about money spent here at home? How much and how should we spend that? And the toughest question of all, who should tighten his belt? It is a fact. We cannot afford everything. Our debt is spiraling in one direction, out of control. House Armed Services Committee member and retired U.S. Air Force Captain, Texas Congressman Pat Fallon joins me. He's also a member of the House Oversight Committee. Good evening, sir. And I want to start first with the House Oversight Committee. The ranking member, Jamie Raskin, has released a report or a memo saying basically that that you have nothing to show, that this has just been a witch hunt, that there's no evidence to connect the president with any wrongdoing. So naturally, I have the question, what is the state of your investigation? What's your timetable? And do you have any evidence actually connecting the president to criminal conduct? Not his son, but the president.
Well, Greta, you have to consider the source with Jamie Raskin. He's been a Biden apologist no matter what we show, what evidence we uncover. And I went into this, I'm going to be very frank and candid with you. I went into this not wanting this to be a revenge tour or just retribution. I want to follow justice. If there's nothing there, then Hunter and Joe Biden should be left alone. But if there's something there, it's our constitutional duty to find it and follow, go where the evidence leads us. And there's plenty of evidence, overwhelming evidence, that Hunter Biden was Joe's bagman, because they're smart enough not to be that stupid. So to answer the second part of your question with specificity, there was the FD 1023 form that was submitted by a very reliable FBI informant who's checked everything he's ever told the FBI is checked out, where it was alleged that Burisma's CEO, McCullough Golchevsky, paid Joe and Hunter Biden $5 million each to get Victor Shokin fired. That's exactly and precisely what happened. And we can go through the timeline if you'd like, but that's one of them. And then also, you got Yelena Bertina, who magically sent $3.5 million to Hunter Biden. And then when the Russians, and she, by the way, is an oligarch in Russia, the former First Lady of Moscow, when Russia invaded Ukraine, she was not one of the oligarchs that was publicly sanctioned. Awfully coincidental. We just need to find out more.
All right. What's the timeline? You say you need to find out more. We're running sort of up against the clock of 2024. I mean, tell me, like, what's the next? Is it going to be resolved in the next 2 months?
Hard to say. Probably not. But to be fair, let's think of this in a historical context. Watergate occurred in June of 1972. President Nixon resigned in August of 74. So it took quite a while because they didn't know of the existence of the real smoking gun in that case, which were the tapes. Were the audio tapes where President Nixon clearly states that he's helping and aiding in the cover-up. So that's why you open an inquiry, just an inquiry on impeachment, because you may find out more evidence because we might not have a smoking gun right now that links Joe Biden, but we have a lot of gunpowder.
Why not subpoena, or can't you, the banking records of President Biden? Because if that shows, and even when he was out of office and when he was vice president, because if he's a government worker for when he's vice president, and he did, I suppose, some consulting after he left. But if you saw a huge infusion of cash, that would at least in some ways perhaps be instructive. Or if there's none at all, that might be helpful as well.
No, that you make a very good point. And this is the other thing with Joe and Hunter Biden. If they have nothing to hide and they're clean as a whistle, as Joe Biden claims he is, why doesn't he just release the bank records? Because if I was accused of something that I didn't do and I could definitively prove it, I would immediately release the bank records if I had nothing to hide.
I don't know. I don't know. I would. You know what? I tell you what. I wouldn't release anything without a subpoena these days. Honestly, So I would not. If I were the president's lawyer, even if he's 100% innocent of everything, I'd say don't without a subpoena.
Well, the other reason why Chairman Comer hasn't subpoenaed bank records from Joe and Hunter is they have been fighting every way. They're just going to lawyer up and try to drag this on past November of next year. So we've just been, we found $30 million, Greta, think about this, of foreign money going to the Biden family. And we haven't even subpoenaed their bank records yet. It's just their associates at this point.
Texas Congressman Pat Fallon, thank you, sir.
Thanks, Greta. God bless.